Okay, so now we're going to do some more work on our thing on our page here in part 4. Excuse me. So what I want to do is put some space between these lines and put some space between the headers. And to do that, we're going to need to make a paragraph rule in the main content. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our cursor in a paragraph. We're going to hit main content. We're going to make a rule. Sorry, we're not going to do that. We're going to just select P. Then we're going to make a rule. And we're going to get rid of the wrapper part by hitting less specific. Hit OK. Now, what we want to do is put some space between the lines. And what we do that is by line height. The text is going to be inside of a line. So we come here and we're going to put let's put 0.6. Now let's put 1.5 ems. I'm going to hit apply. Hit OK. And you see now we have some more space in between there, which should make it more easily read. And we can do the same thing for up here in this part as well. And we will. Now what I want to do is, well, let's go ahead and do that up here. I'm going to go to the paragraph, inside the branding. So branding paragraph, make it less specific. Okay. Let's put 1.5 M, hit apply, and it did the same thing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is make rules for our headers. Put some space in between our headers. And we do that by we have an H2 and we have an H3. Let's make a rule for H2. Put our cursor inside H2 and make a rule. Again, this is main content, H2, less specific, do away with the wrapper part, hit OK. Now, what we want to do, since we want to separate, we want to put a margin on it. Go to our box where our margin is, and we want space from the bottom. So we're going to deselect, same for all, come to the bottom, and let's put 0.6 M. When we hit apply, we see we have some space, hit OK. Let's do the same thing for H3. I'm going to select, go to H3, make a rule, less specific, main content, header 3. So every time there's a header 3 in the main content, this rule will apply. Hit OK, box, deselect, 0.6 M. Apply, hit OK. Now, we want to do the same thing up here, or do we? Well, we can. So we're going to do this. We're going to select it, H1, make a rule, less specific, hit OK, box, margin, deselect that, hit 0.6 M, apply, OK. And now we have everything cleaned up and looks a little better. Now we can come in here and we can center it just like we would. We can hit center, align, and we can center it. And now it's centered on our page. Good. Now we've come that far. Let's go ahead and hit save so we don't lose it. Okay. So now let's work on our site nav over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 items. We need to highlight those items, and we're going to put those in an unordered list. Basically a bulletized list, unordered list. If we do it unordered, that means everything will stay where it is. We're not going to, if I did it alphabetically, it would go different. So, unordered list. Now, as you can see, now we have our unordered list, but we have these little bulletized dots there. We don't want that, so we're going to have to make a rule. So we come to our unordered list and make a rule. Let's cancel that. Let's put it up here. Select unordered list. Make a rule. Less specific. Hit OK. Now, what we see is we want to go to our box. Or do we want to go to box? I'm sorry, we don't want to go to box. We want to go to list since we're dealing with a list and the list style position or the list style type. We want disk, circle. No, we don't want anything, so we click none, hit apply, and our dots are gone. Hit OK. Now we're going to move on. What we want to do though over here, since this is navigation, these are all links. Right now they're not anything, so what we want to make them a link. We want to make a faux link, if you will. It's not really going to link to anything, but it's going to behave like a link because we're going to select the item. We're going to come down to link, and I'm going to put in a pound sign. When I click off of it, you see now it looks like a link. We're going to do that to each one. So I'm going to do that real quick. That. Go to link, hit pound, highlight the next, go to link, hit pound. Now they all act like links. And what I mean by that, we can go to live view, and when I put my cursor on them, I get the little pointed finger, which is what we're all familiar with seeing. Let's come off live view, back to design. Now I don't want them to look like this or keep them like that. That's not really very stylish or anything. So we got rid of the dots. What we want to do now is we need to make a rule for these things. So let's go ahead and make a rule. We need to click on one of them to edit our A tag, which is the link. We did that when we put the pound sign in. So we click that, and we're going to make a rule. And that's for all of that. Okay. Now for the type, we're going to make this white. And if I put apply on there, they disappear. They're still there, but they disappeared. So we got some more things that we want to do. So we're going to go to text decoration. We're going to get rid of our lines that were underneath it. We're going to click none. That's gone. And we're going to set our background color. So we set our background color, and we're going to set it to whatever color we want. I'm going to set it to, let's set it to this color right here, this red color. Okay, so we have it set to that. So if I hit apply, what's going to happen is that's what we got. That's not exactly what we want. A lot of people don't like this. It doesn't look very clean, very smooth. So how do we do that? How do we fix this? Well, what we want to do is we want to go to block, since we're going to make them blocked, and we're going to go to display. Right now it's in line. We want to display a block, so we click block, hit apply, and there we have it so far. But I want these to be bigger, so I'm going to go back to type, go to my line height, and I'm going to set it .30 pixels high. And when I hit apply, now you see we have our boxes bigger. I don't want my words jammed up on this margin, so I'm going to put some padding in there. So inside the box, I'm going to go to padding, I'm going to unclick that, and I want it to be padded from the left, so I'm going to click this, and I'm going to just go 10 pixels to the left. I'm going to hit apply. Now they shift over, they're inside the box, it looks clean. However, I do want them separated. So the way I separate them is I'm going to have to set a margin around each one of these blocks. And by doing that, I'm going to have it from this margin, it's going to be separated down and so on. So we're going to click that. We want it set to our bottom margin. And let's make it 10 pixels on that. Now we got them separated. And now it looks like a little bit more of a professional navigation site. Now, I wanted to say, excuse me, I mentioned that when we hover over them, I wanted it to change color. that'd be helpful for someone if when they hover over the color changes, they know that they're on top of it. Right now, if we go to live view, you see nothing occurs, but it is a link. The whole block is the link now. So let's get rid of live view, go back to design, and let's fix this. So we want to make the hover tag. So we click over here, then we want to go to okay. So like I said, I wanted to make a hover. So we do that. We put our cursor inside there, and we're going to make a hover rule. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to make a rule. Make it less specific. So it's dealing with the hyperlinks inside the list of the unordered list for site nav. Okay. Sorry, before we do all that, let's go back to what we did. I forgot a step. I'm going to click that. Well, since we have it, we'll just open it back up. Cancel. Let's digress some. Okay. So, back to this, we're going to select the A, and we're going to make rule. Make it less specific, and we're going to hit, but here is where it changes. We put a colon, and we type in hover. Hit OK. Now we have our hover. Now the only thing I want to do, I don't want to change anything from the parent tag. All I want to do is just change the color of it when you hover. So let's go to background, color. Now, best way for contrast is for it to be opposite on the color wheel. So we come over here and we background. I'm going to sample this first. Then we're going to come back over here. Since we sampled it, drop it on there. Here it is there. Directly across from it would be its opposite. So we hit that. Let's make it a little darker. Or you can make it brighter. What are you going to do? Let's leave it right there. I kind of like it right there. So we hit OK. Hit apply. OK. Now, when we go to live view now, this is how it will look on. When we hover over it, look at there, it changes color. Changes color, changes color. And we know we're where we want to be. However, now the words are kind of hard to see. So let's go edit that rule. Let's go find it in our list. There's the hover rule. Double click it, background, and we can make it let's make it a little darker this time. Hit OK, apply, OK. Let's go back to live view and see what it looks like. There we go. A lot easier to read the words now. We didn't have to worry about changing the text or anything. Okay, so now as you can see, we've made a simple website. Now on the last part of it, what we're going to do is we're going to go over how to check it. So we'll see you in part 5.